Before, there was board games, and then they made video games, and then they made board games of the video games. So it went from cardboard and plastic to pixels on a screen, back to cardboard and plastic again. Let's see how well some of these video game board game games have turned out. First up is Pac-Man. If you know how Pac-Man's played, then there's not much to say. They translated the video game to physical medium in a pure and faithful way. The famous pellets are represented by these balls which go in his mouth. It works okay. Damn. The main difference is that there's multiple Pac-Men for competitive gameplay. On each player's turn, they control their Pac-Man and also a ghost to chase after the other Pac-Men. If caught, they go back to the starting point. Imagine what it would be like to be trapped for all eternity with two ghosts. The game ends when all the balls are gone. The player to gobble the most balls wins. I do have to say, the Pac-Man pieces are a little strange looking. Even the instructions say, "Move your silly Pac-Man playing piece," as if they were admitting it's stupid. The game isn't perfect for sure, it's just kind of, I guess you could say I think the proper term you're searching for is, it's a piece of shit. Who'd want to play a board game of Pac-Man when you can play the video game instead? You mean like that asinine Atari 2600 version where they couldn't even get Pac-Man into a circle shape? It's not great, but at the time, this was a better way to get Pac-Man into the home than that flickering, glitchy mess. Face it, nobody cares about board games. I prefer to have something physical that you could actually get your hands on. Here's a better example. Pac-Man Magnetic Maze. This version gives you more of that instant gratification, that real-time action you're looking for. It's closer to the video game. You actually use a joystick which wobbles the board around, therefore moving the pieces. The goal was to collect the points which magnetize to Pac-Man's head and bring them back to the start point while avoiding the ghosts, or monsters. Why do they refer to the ghosts as monsters? Because it's garbage. What kind of board game uses a joystick anyway? Okay, let's try Super Mario Bros. That's a great action-oriented game with plenty of possibilities. The art style is very much in tune with the video game, but let's see how it plays. Each player takes turns controlling Mario. That's odd that you all share the same pawn. If you roll red, you move on to the next red space. If you roll yellow, you move on to the next yellow space. Doot 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 doot. Real fun game. Really beats playing the video game, doesn't it? Don't you just love rolling that die? Roll, roll, roll. Yeah, it's pretty tedious. You're constantly landing on spaces, potentially covering almost the entire board. Having numbered dice would have made the game much quicker paced. Sure, you can choose to take alternate paths, but the choices of where to go are very limited. There's hardly any strategy involved. Your turn ends when you roll stop, then the other players take control of Mario. But whenever you collect 4 coins, you can trade them in for an extra roll, or an extra life as the instruction manual calls it. A mushroom gives you 4 coins, but since 4 coins gives you an extra life, couldn't a mushroom just be an extra life? Yeah, you might have to take some fucking mushrooms to understand this game. Then there's the hazard cards. Whenever you hit a question mark, you collect another card which you can use on the other player. Basically, what the cards do is spawn enemies for the other players to land on. If they land on an enemy, they lose a life, or in other words, the turn goes back to you. The goal of the game is to be the first player to land on the final space, therefore rescuing the princess. Well, this is kind of stupid. Now you're talking some sense. Nothing in the game matters. It's all about who gets that final roll. What's the point of putting hazards down? Just wait for Mario to get near the end, then start playing competitively. By putting down hazards, all you're doing is slowing Mario down and prolonging the game. It's like trying to play a game of chess by yourself. Everything you do on one side counteracts the other. Well, this could easily be solved if there were 2 different playing pieces, like only if there was somebody else besides Mario. Like who is that? Who's that now? Luigi? Nailed it on the head like a hammer, brother. Brother, it sucks. How much does it suck? It fucking sucks. Say it like it is. It's a shitload of fuck. That's a good one. Here's one that's okay. It's Super Mario Bros. The Great Ladder Race game. Here, 2 players, Mario and Luigi, race to get up and down the ladder without falling off. You have to appreciate the simplicity. I like games that deal with physics. Yeah, but what does it have to do with Mario? Isn't this exactly what you want with a Mario game? Hanging on fucking ladders? Well, come to think of it, it should have been based on the ladder finale from It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. But anyway, I think this is pretty good because instead of trying to force the video game into a board game, here, they just made something new. I'm just trying to look on the positive side. There is no positive side. It's like trying to describe a dog turd that's sitting on a sidewalk. Which side is better? The side that's facing up, drying up in the hot afternoon sun, or the side that's sticking to the cement, staying moist and shitty? Alright, let's try Legend of Zelda. The art design looks promising enough. The board is colorful, appealing, and represents the labyrinth-style gameplay that we know and love. Well, just like in the Mario game, all the players share Link. They each take turns moving him around. Each room has its own set of colored tiles. When you land on a yellow square, you uncover a tile. If it's a monster, you fight it by rolling the battle dice. If the number of swords rolled is equal or higher than the number of the monster, you win. If the monster has a heart, you get a heart. But if you lose one of your hearts. If anyone loses all their hearts, the game ends. When you uncover the special item, you can move to the next room. In the very last room lies the Triforce. When somebody gets the Triforce, the game ends, but they don't necessarily win. The winner is the person to have the most hearts when the game is over. Well, it makes more sense than the Mario game, but it's definitely no Hero Quest or Dragon Strike, because those games were meant to be board games. This was meant to be a video game. Yeah, I wish I was playing the real Zelda instead. Damn straight. Now you're starting to see the light, Board James, or should I call you Video James? Here's Street Fighter 2, the board game. I guess there was no Street Fighter 1 game. Oh no, they did it. They took Street Fighter literally. It's just a bunch of fucking streets? Get it? Street Fighter? They fight on the streets! On the streets! You're right, it's ass. I'm gonna go play the video game. Fine. This is a pretty big board anyway. For a video game that's just two people fighting, all it really needed was dice and cards. When you roll the die, you don't count spaces, you count directions on the street. So every time you turn a corner, that's one number on the die. When players meet, they fight by doing what? You guessed it, rolling battle dice. The winner gains a point on their power meter. The higher your meter gets, the more dice you get to roll in battle. First player to get their power meter to the top wins. But then there's M. Bison, who has a countdown meter. If his countdown meter makes it to the end, that means everybody loses. But players can also try fighting M. Bison if they're powerful enough. If someone beats him, that person wins the game. Wow. Just as much fun as playing the video game. This is a mess. This whole thing is a mess. What do I need this for? Did I put this together right? Remove the pawn stands, building stands, clips and pegs from underneath the cardboard platform. Separate the clips and twist the pegs off the runner. Discard waste. Discard waste. Tetris? Oh no, you gotta be kidding me! Who makes a board game of Tetris? How do you make a board game of Tetris? That isn't even possible! What am I supposed to do here? Play fucking Tetris on cardboard? Fuck this. Players all simultaneously and randomly pick block shapes out of a box. They place them on the board and arrange them just like you would if you were playing Tetris. If you get a block you don't want, you pass it to the next player. When somebody reaches the top, the game ends. Whoever has the least amount of open spaces wins. So basically you're trying to cover as many spaces as possible in the quickest amount of time. What's the point? I guess it's good for people who don't have electricity but still want to play video games. You could play it on Game Boy with AA batteries. Who needs this shit? Who makes video games into board games? It's all a bunch of circle jerk marketing bullshit. I played some board games out of boredom, but this shit, you gotta be really bored. What were they thinking? You know who you are. You're a nerd. You'll always be a nerd. A video game nerd.